Ranger fans, Bryan Montgomery here with head coach Bryan Jones of the Jesuit Dallas baseball squad. The Rangers heading back to the UIL 6A state tournament after a regional final victory over Atascocita. Coach, first and foremost, congratulations. Back-to-back appearances in the state tournament. What an outstanding accomplishment. Looking at that contest, though, in the regional final, a 9-1 win for the Rangers, a one-game playoff that started on Friday, ended on Saturday. One of the big things in that contest was junior pitcher Jacob Polish, who started on Friday, and after the rain delay, came back on Saturday. What, for you, was the confidence that you had to throw the junior back onto the mound after such a lengthy delay?
The biggest decision making right there was just knowing that it was a short outing for him on Friday night. Probably, if you look at it, probably just maybe an extended bullpen session for him, I guess. He probably threw a dozen pitches or so, 12 to 15 pitches on Friday night. So just having a conversation with him Friday night after the long rain delay, just knowing and asking him, hey, do you feel comfortable enough? And his honest response was, let me get out in the morning, Saturday morning, and get out and move around a little bit and see how I feel. And after a good 10-15 minute warm up, I think he felt good enough to go. And if Jacob is going to be able to tell me, yeah, I'm good to go, then I think that kind of solidified my decision for him.
And then one of the things that made the workload easy on Jacob Polish at the end of that game in the seventh inning was the just copious amount of runs. The team really had a lot of run production in that last inning and really took the pressure off of him heading into that final frame. And for especially in the postseason when runs are at a premium, to see the squad put up a crooked number on the scoreboard there in the seventh must have had you feeling really comfortable heading into the bottom of the inning.
Definitely. However, we had to get to that point before we felt a little bit comfortable. The big thing in starting that inning off right there, the big thing was to scratch that first run across. And then after that, just an old baseball saying that hits are contagious, and things like that just kind of opened up. And when they did, it seems like everybody that come through the lineup was putting the ball in play and making things happen. And we were aggressive at the same time on the bases. And, that's kind of the philosophy that we've had, and the kind of philosophy that I was going with at that time, especially when we got Kyle on third base and in the sixth inning. And at the time, I'm thinking we may not have another opportunity to have a run this close with no outs, and that's when we went with the gutsy two-strike squeeze with a number 4 hole hitter with Bryce, and he got the bunt down, and Kyle being probably one of our fastest runners, knowing that if it's down on the ground, we're going to score the run, and then again, like you said, with runs at a premium at that point, going up by 1, making it a 2-1 game. It was big. It was big, not only putting us ahead, but again, getting runs across was was big at that time. And then, again, after that just kind of opened up the floodgates, so to speak. And, I obviously wish it would have happened a little bit sooner. Could breathe a little bit easier, but it was nice to be able to have that room and that comfort. Going into the seventh inning with Jacob, and I think he was still at maybe 80 some odd pitches going into that seventh inning, but give him a couple run lead, and I would have felt comfortable either way.
And now looking at this entire week, so much going into this state championship week, and it started off in really historic fashion. Kyle Muller, the Gatorade National Player of the Year, Cole Hamill, starting pitcher for the Texas Rangers, presenting him with the award, and just what an amazing moment for the program, and what an amazing moment for Kyle.
There's really not a whole lot to be said except for just how much of a wonderful year that Kyle has really had, and all that just kind of goes to his dedication and hard work. And yes, he's had an outstanding season, but at the same time, I think that Kyle, if he was here, he would answer the question the same way and just say, hey, he wants to go out, the team wants to go out, we want to go out with a state championship, and all that other stuff will take care of itself. But I'm awful proud for him, the community, the Jesuit and the program. We're all proud of him, but we all know that we still got a job to do.
And then you talk about that, looking at last year, the team bowing out in the state semis, but I think in a way it's almost a blessing in disguise because you have so many returners that have experienced that. And the truth of the matter is this is a team, the only team out of the Final Four that have been there, especially last year. They, for a lot of the players, last year is still fresh in their minds, and even more so, you are the team that played a one-game playoff before the installation of the one-game playoff that's going to happen in the state semis. And so really right now, How's the team's focus, especially after that regional final win? So much stuff going on during this early portion of the week. How is the team's mentality kind of being narrowed and focusing on this upcoming matchup against Langham Creek?
I think we're more than focused, and I take that back to our last 4 weeks of coming down to game threes, or even this past weekend with a one-gamer. And I think that's going to really pay off for us. It's going to pay dividends because we've been in this situation to where it's one and done, or it's one and go on. And even after Friday night, after the layoff from Friday night and going over into Saturday, our kids were loose. And again, I just don't think we really had an attitude of we're going to lose this game. And again, I think that just goes back to our confidence in not only our guys that are running out there on the mound, but that we're going to get the job done. And again, these 4 weeks, I guess, of going into Saturday games or the games three, they've, that's I guess that's what you could say we're going to rely on, that we've been in this situation. And again, go back to last year. Yeah. And that was something that we spoke about yesterday before yesterday's practice was, we've been there. We know what it's like. We've had a taste of it. And we know what to expect. And so we'll go down on Thursday and we'll sit in the stands and we'll breathe in Dale Diamond and we'll watch another game and all, at the same time we'll just realize that it's still another game. It's still a baseball game and the diamond's still the same, and we'll breathe in the atmosphere, like I said, and get comfortable with it. And again, we're not going to approach this game any different than what we've done any other time. There's no more emphasis on this week than there was last week. But obviously it's a different week, and again, one of our team motto here is we're going to win the week. I'm glad that we're one of the Final Four, but I want to come back here on Saturday with that gold #1 championship medal around our necks.
Coach, best of luck to you, and thank you so much for joining us once again. The Rangers heading to the UIL State Tournament. First contest will take place at 12 o'clock on Friday against Langham Creek, and then if the Rangers advance to the championship contest, that'll take place at 11:30 on Saturday against either San Antonio Johnson or Amarillo. And as always, Ranger fans, for all of your up-to-date Ranger information, visit JesuitRangers.org.